Welcome to the Green Living Gurus podcast and social media profile. And I am here today with Tanya Willis. It's very appropriate that our business is called Green Living Gurus because we are talking about something green today. And if you can see in the picture, if you're not, and you're on podcast, we are talking about a tower garden. And if you don't know what a tower garden is, you will hear all about it from Tanya because she sells these tower gardens, which are fabulous. I plan to buy one down the road once I figure out where I put all these plants behind me. But I'm all about greens and eating greens and whatnot. But Tanya is in Canada, and she sells these all over the United States and Canada. She actually donates some of them to schools too, and she can talk about that a little bit, right, Tanya?
Yes.
Okay. And she is the founder of Vibrant Living, great name, and also the Willis Method. And she can explain all of these different programs that she has going, but she's also an author of a children's book. Hold it up.
Oh, no, not a children's book. Emotional eating.
Sorry, emotional eating. Got that wrong. Cookie dough in the dark. I knew that.
Yeah.
And she's been a fitness, health, nutrition counselor for over 30 years. She's got it all going. She and I have worked together on something in the past and collaborating on things moving into the future. And she and I are both in a wellness program together. And I just love her and haven't met her in person, but I feel like I already know her as a friend. So welcome, Tanya.
Well, thank you so much for having me. Yes, I know the world of not knowing. I haven't hugged you in person, but I've hugged you virtually. And I love all your Buffalo Bills things. They light up my day. They make me happy. So it's amazing the relationships that you can form virtually these days.
Well, and your husband's a Buffalo Sabres fan.
Yes. Yes.
So, and we're not just talking to Buffalo here today, even though I always talk about Buffalo, but her husband and I figured out we're both Buffalo Sabres fans. So that was another common thing that we had in our new friendship. So we're talking today about this tower garden, if everybody can see in the screen, the tower garden, which is a live garden that she grows in her house, and they constantly are eating off of it. I got a little bit of a tour another time that she gave me, and it's fascinating to me because she's got so many different greens in there that her kids come down, pick off there, make a salad for the day, probably even could juice. Got a lot of basil. I feel like I can smell the basil from here. What else is on there? And we'll get a little tour of it in a little bit. I know you can pop over there and show it to us.
Do you want me to pop over there right now?
Yeah, go over there and pop over there right now. So
okay, let's do that.
Yep. So this tower garden, she'll tell us how high it is, but there's lights that are on all four sides, and the lights are not perfect. A miracle. Live camera. So those are lights. The lights are actually off right now. They're fluorescent lights, I presume, right?
No, they're actually LED lights, and they use about as much power as a night light.
That's great. That's even better. And then, so tell us what you have growing in there right now.
Okay, so I have basil. So my tower I got 6 years ago. So I've had this for 6 years, and my last basil plant lasted me almost 3 years. And the reason I just decided to take it out, it was still fine. I just felt like I wanted to start fresh. So you can smell the basil, and you can see like it's sturdy. It's like a trunk root here. So I have some basil going. I have parsley here. I've got romaine. I've got butter crunch. I've got like a red lettuce, and I have some celery, but it's just starting because celery takes basil, celery, and parsley take a little longer to grow, just as they do outside. But once you have them, they're in there for a long time.
So let me ask you about the celery. Celery stalks?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive. And I just saw your dog enter in there. Does the dog eat it ever?
Never.
Okay, that's good.
Just my kids and people who come over. When I used to teach my classes in my studio before we got shut down, literally my clients, they're like, can I just have some lettuce? Can I have like a piece of parsley? They just honestly came over here and picked right off of it and ate it. So my husband was like, you're not getting one, right? And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I ordered one literally within the next hour because I just knew the value of having this tower. And he watched how fast things grew. I'm not kidding, they grow super fast. And then he tasted it and he was like, oh my gosh, like you cannot buy this taste. And we have a garden, so we garden in the summer, but you know where we live, it's a very short growing season, right?
Yeah, so tell them where you live, Tanya, up in Ontario.
Okay, so I live 2 hours north of Toronto. So we have a growing season like yours, you know, it's like May till October, right? And, you know, the farmers markets, and that's awesome. But I think I keep this thing going all year round. You can take it outside. There's also, there's two types. This is called, I think this is the flex unit, and then there's a home unit. So mine is 30 inches across, like the base, and the home unit is 24 inches. So it's a little bit smaller. And you can get a tower garden that just goes to here. Which is 20 plants. I have 28 plants. And then the new ones also have a spot at the top. I think you can do up to 32 plants on them. And they have places where you can do microgreens, sprouts, baby greens. So two great options. Now my dad, he's in Canada during the summer, and then he actually takes this to Florida in the winter and grows outside.
Love that.
So the ones outside, you can have cucumber and tomatoes and strawberry plants and everything. But when it's inside, it's greens because you can't have things that need pollinating.
Good point. Now, the question that I asked that I'm sure everybody is asking, how do you plant? How do you get it to grow? What is it, I know you have some type of pod, right?
Yeah, so what you get is a pod. Can you see that?
Yep, it's a little pod, yep.
Yeah, it's called like, we call it rock wall. And oh my God, I wish you could see my tiny babies. So I basically started planting these because my kids are eating off like this, like nobody's business. And I came downstairs, I'm like, oh my God, I got to get ahead of myself here. So I don't know if you can see these tiny, where's my camera?
Yeah.
See the tiny little greens
already? Yeah, I see it right there. Yes, it's coming out. Yeah.
So, I mean, this is literally 3 days.
What like, is that right there? What are you growing there?
So this is lettuce. And then I've planted some lettuce and some parsley and maybe a celery. I can't remember, but I did lots of lettuce because we're going through a lot of lettuce. So people ask me, do you have to start in a starter tray? And the answer is no. So basically I go to my kitchen, I get these pods. You can buy whatever seeds you want. Like you don't have to, when you buy the first time, you'll get all of this stuff. You get some starter seeds. And then after that, you can order whatever seeds you want. So you basically get a pod, like you can see how, like this is 4, you just kind of rip them apart.
Yep.
And then I rip it apart and then I put it in a hole. So each of these is a pod. And what happens is down here, so I'll just move this here.
Oh yeah, that helps, good, okay.
There's a hole. Just like, which way did I spin it? Oh. So there's a hole and they come on wheels, which is fantastic. So
that's nice.
So there's a hole here.
Okay.
That holds water.
Got it.
And then there's a pump that pumps the water all the way up. And then the water trickles down and feeds all the roots. So if I can, I'll see. Oh, here, look, here's a good one. So here's a lettuce. Can you see this? That we have finished. Okay.
That's done. You got to take it out. Okay.
See the roots?
My gosh.
Yeah. So I take these and I just put it in my compost. I just all winter long, just throw it in. So look at these roots.
Wow.
Right? So then all I do is I chop them at the bottom, pull out the pod. See, now I have this black, or I pull out the rock wall. I have this black
I
thing
see it
here.
now. Yep.
Yep. I take well, actually, I'm going to put it back in. I'm just going to clean this up, make it look pretty. Okay. Then I put this back in. See how it clicks in? Super simple.
Easy.
And then I do this. And there you go. That's it.
So that's it. And you don't have to worry about watering it ever.
You put the water in here. So this water, so this is what I say to people. If you get the smaller unit, obviously the water area, see how this holds water?
Yep.
So if you get the smaller one, you may have to put more water in, but I probably fill this about once every 4 weeks.
Oh,
now, that depends on the humidity, the dryness, that kind of thing, but about 4 weeks. So I can plant my tower, go away for 2 weeks, come home and have a garden when I come home.
That's incredible. I just love that.
It is so good. I cannot tell you. So what we do, like I'm going to show you if you can see this one. I told my kids, like, pick up. Can you see how green it is?
Yeah,
like,
the basil. That's basil, right?
Oh, lettuce. This
is that's the lettuce. Wow.
Yeah. So look how green it is. So basically, if you look at this plant here, this is a butter crunch. See these new baby sprouts coming in? So you pick off that and then you get a regrowth. So you don't have to like rip the whole plant apart and then replant. We all take it from different areas and then there's a regrowth, and we do a lot of green smoothies. So, you know, I use this for green smoothies, or I will also, when I get a lot on here, I will pick it and freeze it, because for green smoothies, it doesn't matter if it's frozen. Right. But what happens is, so just like a regular garden, you grow this stuff, but eventually it'll taste bitter. And when you don't like it anymore, that's when you can just pull it, like I did with this one, pull it, and then put it in your compost or the garbage, whatever. And then you go, oh, and here, I don't know if you can see this. This is my kale. Look at my bait. It's
just coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that. That's so cute. Oh, I love it.
So that's some kale, and you can do bok choy, Swiss chard, all sorts of things.
I love it.
Yeah, the lights are on a timer, and so it's all the way up at the top, and you can move these lights if you need to. And oh, it just says my internet's unstable. Okay, there you go. And then the water is on a pump. So I'm not kidding. You put the little seeds in the pod, okay? You put the pod in here, and as long as you've got your timers on and there's water in, there's no weeding, there's no bugs. It is so simple.
There's no need to spray it.
No spray, no nothing. This, like, I've gardened for years. I've had this for 6 years. I'm almost going to buy another one this year and just do a 1 tower garden outside, 1 tower garden inside, because it's so easy.
So it's all organic.
Yeah, because it's just the seeds that you buy, right? Like if you decide to put in crappy seeds, then that's okay. I you know, go for the non-GMO organic when I can.
Good. Let's say definitely non-GMO. I'm a big believer in that. So that's great. That's even better.
Okay, now one thing too, this does not need to be near a window. So a lot of people are like, Tanya, I don't have a spot by a window. I'm like, I know people who live in apartment buildings who have put it in their storage unit. I know people who have it in their heated garage. People have it in their laundry room. Like, you can shove this thing in a corner as long as there's an outlet.
Power.
And it'll be fine. And I put water in here. I just take some jugs and I just go to my bathroom, fill it up, carry a jug over. It's like a 5-minute back and forth. But I'm like, that's about the hardest thing I'm going to do.
I love that. It's so great. I just, Look forward to getting one soon. And I wanted to spread the word of what you have there and you offer it. And how do people find out more, or how do they purchase it?
Yeah. So I could go back to my office, or do you
Yeah,
like
come on back to your office.
I'll keep this on here. Okay, just a second.
Yeah. So I think the greatest thing about that she just said is you don't need a south window. You don't need light. You can put it anywhere in your home, and you have fresh greens, herbs, vegetables, whatever you want to put in there all year long. So
and if you live in a sunny state, you should see the Tower Gardens. I'm not kidding. If this one we just eat off it so fast right now, but they're out to here. Like, it is massive.
I could imagine they just blow up, right?
Oh yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So you can decide on, there's 2 separate units. If you're growing indoors, you definitely have to have the lights. And the price, there's a price you can pay, a one-time price, or you can break it over 12 months and it's exactly the same price. We don't charge interest or anything like that. So I will give you my link. And as long as you live in Canada and the States, they don't sell them, even though the company I work for, we sell our products in 26 different countries. For some reason, the Tower Garden is only available in Canada and the US. But you just order it, it ships right to your door. There is an amazing community that you can belong to and ask any questions to troubleshoot any problems. I've never really had a problem. And that's it. So I'll give you the link. I'll have to email it to you or whatever.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll put it in the context of everything that I put out there and let people know. Where are they manufactured?
In the US.
Okay.
So Tim Banks, he's an American. He invented it for NASA because they wanted to be able to eat
right
food in space. So he invented it for that. He actually just did a talk for our whole Juice Plus Tower Garden community this week. And basically, like, I'm not kidding. They're selling like hotcakes. March 2020, when the first lockdown happened, we sold out in 1 month, a 7-month supply. And now we're experiencing another lockdown here. I mean, people are like, this is the time, because just for an environmental thing, fresh greens. And we know fresh produce feeds our cells, gives us energy, makes us feel great. And so we have access at our fingertips without leaving our house to nutrition, proper nutrition. And then plastic. You don't have to put your produce in plastic anymore. You don't have to buy plastic tubs of lettuce. So from an environmental standpoint, it cuts down on plastic use. It also uses 90% less water than traditional gardening. So, I mean, I could go over more benefits, but those are a few that come to mind.
Well, and just think about us living in the north, how far our lettuce has to travel.
And it has no nutritional value by the time you're eating it, unfortunately. I mean, it's still better than eating a chocolate bar.
Yes.
When you pick it and you eat it right away, the nutrients, the life, and it's not sprayed. Unfortunately, most of our food is sprayed, even organic. It's just different and maybe not so much. So this is like no spray. What you're putting in your mouth is clean. And you know what? Not only that, you're connected to nature. Right. And I can't tell you how, like, it's so nice to look at that garden and it makes you happy.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You know,
I just know, as you can see, I'm a green thumb person back there. I talk to my plants. I have some herbs that we grow, but they're tough in the winter. It's tough to grow anything. And it does make me happy. That would make me it would make my husband really happy, but because to pick what we need, I'm constant, we buy lettuce all the time, and I constantly am juicing it because we don't want anything to go to waste. But it would be so awesome to pick it in the summertime. We have a tiny little garden. It's so fun just to have one head of lettuce. To have that would be just amazing. And what about the educational component just for kids, just to see that how great that is for them as well?
Yeah. So there's some schools that have them. You can get a grant for a school for a boys and girls club, where you can get it for free there. It comes with a whole curriculum. So it talks about environment, biology, chemistry. I've got a tower garden in a kindergarten class, and then we have one in a grade 2-3 class, and then a high school recently bought one. Great teaching tool. And you know what you see, you eat. So they're these kids, like the teachers, like I get goosebumps because they're like, these kids want to eat off of this. And then they do salad days for the school. I mean, for anybody who's doing homeschooling, this is an amazing tool to have. You know, boys and girls clubs. I mean, there's no end in sight. It's only your imagination. And I will just tell you that for $52 for the year, you can get a membership and you get back almost $200 from on your tower garden purchase. So that is another bonus right there. So to me, there was absolutely zero downside to getting this.
Okay, so you're going to send me all of the links so I can let everybody know all about the tower garden, which is what we're here to talk about. But I also want to tell everybody about your vibrant living program and also the Willis method before we finish up our call.
Okay. Well, yes, I've been teaching fitness and personal training since, 30 years ago.
That's where the tower garden is. I see all your equipment in your training studio.
Yeah. And it's been empty since March 2020. So I moved everything online, and I basically opened Vibrant Living membership, which you can join for a month, 6 months, like no obligation, right? And I teach a lot of roller classes because I deeply believe in alignment and fascia work so that people don't have aches and pains. I teach an abs class every week, but you get all of these recorded. There's hundreds of videos. I do beginners, weights. It's basically like coming to a gym and you get a variety. So it's not like you just get yoga. You get Pilates, weight training, Tabata, HIIT, relaxing classes. So I have the whole gamut. And then I also have nutrition because I have a nutrition coaching and behavioral change specialist. And I also wrote a whole book on addiction, which I went through. So we have a whole nutrition section, and then I have a whole mindset section because everything starts here. So that's my Vibrant Living membership, and I'll send you the information for that. And then I also have the Willis method, which is a 12-week deeper dive into women who really are struggling to lose weight. They want the weight off for good. So there's no quick fixes. There's no dieting. It's really getting to the root cause, which I really discovered through my eating journey, that it wasn't the cookies, it was the deeper why. And so we do a much deeper dive into emotional eating and just, uncovering that. So it's not about depriving yourself. It's learning how to deal with your feelings and, just get that weight off and feel great.
Awesome. I love your energy, and you're probably doing this all by yourself. I'm sure you have some behind the scenes help, do you?
Not a lot.
Okay. You're like me. I know. That's why I connected with you right away. We both are like, we can handle a lot going on at the same time. I'm just starting to get a few people helping me behind the scenes with social media. It's great.
And Trace, we're both passionate about health and fitness. And I'm not passionate about technology, but I've had to learn because when you're an entrepreneur, and I thank this tower garden business and my side business, because without it, I would not have been able to go online. So it really gave me the funds. So for anybody that's out there and they're entrepreneurial and they're looking for a way to, either just pay for the tower garden, I'd love to talk to them because, if you have the mindset and the drive to want to make money, there's lots of ways you can do it. So by all means, I love working with people who are like, I want an opportunity to help people.
Yes, I know. You and I both have been talking about this because both of us had businesses and we had to figure out a new way and pivot to doing things online, which we both are in the process of doing. So I support you and commend you for everything that you're doing, and look forward to working on future things in the, going forward. And one of these days, I've seen your workout. I mean, I'm a big workout crazy person too. I just haven't had a ton of time. I do stuff on my side, but I'll take one. I'll jump on one of your classes and join too.
Oh,
I love
good.
it. Yeah, I have a couple different memberships out there. I like getting diversity. So anything else you want to add before we bid farewell?
The only thing I would like to say is just from knowing my business is, if this feels right, like, don't talk yourself out of it. Because, this is a basic life necessity, good food. And when you feed yourself good food, the benefits are so overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And we tend to have a great idea or want to take action, and then we stop ourselves from doing it. And I just say, jump in. Like, honestly, if I had hesitated, which I didn't, oh, there's Crosby. I would have missed out on 6 years of amazing food. And I cannot tell you how amazing it is. So, figure a way out. It's not like, if you pay monthly, it's not expensive. If you get the membership, you even get money back. Like, there are definite ways to make this fit. Yeah. And I will say, food prices are going up. And we have done calculations where this pays for itself in a very short time. I forget the exact number, but it is like 2 or 3 months payback, which is nothing.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I think also is so important about this, coming from a wellness coach and trying to get people to change their diet. If you go on a diet, and you want to lose weight, unless you change your eating habits, what happens with something like this, I just know from when we do our CSAs, our community supported agriculture, when you pick up a whole pile of vegetables, you are cooking those whole pile of vegetables. You are not getting junk into your diet. What this also does is it forces you and also motivates you to eat much healthier, because you have this in front of you and you're not going to let it go to waste.
Well, the other thing is that this is a post we did a week ago, is that most people's produce rots in their fridge.
So absolutely.
They spent the money and now it's rotting. We just go and pick this when we want it. Like, so there's no waste. We pick.
Yep, I agree.
10 leaves of lettuce and a little bit of parsley and a couple basil leaves. And I'm not kidding. That stuff can stay on that tower garden for a long time.
Well, and then I'm a big juicer. So when we get down to something looking like, as I said before, we juice it and you juice it. So you have a lot of options, and it's a lot for people. You and I eat very healthy, but somebody that might not, this would be a great way for you to start off the new year with something like this that would motivate you to eat a lot healthier. And we'll just leave it at that. Okay, that's perfect. So thank you. I love talking to you all the time. And I look forward to our next conversation, because I'm sure we're going to do something else down the road. And we will see each other very soon. And hopefully someday we can get into Canada and you can get into the United States and we can see each other in person.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Oh, thank you so much again.